You have suffered the burden of garbage storytelling for far too long. I will teach you the art of film. To write, to direct, to frame every shot to perfection. You know how to write 6 movies. I can teach you to write 600. I can teach you to be great in ways you could never imagine. Always mind your cinematography. A filmmaker understands the inner workings of the mind. And I will teach you how to control your viewers' emotions to captivate them, to write something so powerful, even your adversaries will weep. You have reached the summit of your training. You're now ready to become a legend.
Darren is starting to annoy me. Yeah, I heard he sucks at steering council president anyway. They're losing money. I thought he was supposed to be good at that stuff. I'm just saying. Everyone's always glazing him so much, like he's the smartest team in the world. If he's so smart, then why can't he even tie his bow tie? I mean, I heard he's going to Yale. Yale, isn't that just like poor man's Harvard, dude? Like,
Your mic is hot again.
oh no.
Sorry about that one, folks. Let's hear it for our amazing filmmakers so far. Takes time, effort, dedication, and a bit of knowing how to bully Mr. Spaulding into cancel-boring projects that you don't want to do. Like a documentary. If you turn to the program for tonight, you'll learn that this group hasn't quite learned that skill yet. But luckily, they made up for it with their amazing documentaries. Next up for categories is Best Script. The Best Script Writing Award in the Film Studies program honors the student who demonstrates exceptional storytelling prowess through their script writing. Their ability to consistently craft compelling characters, dialogue, and narratives is what is represented by this award. The nominees for Best Screenplay Writing are Sophie Lee for Breaking the Ice, Ethan Schmitz for Waiting in the Wings, Shiven Patel for Its Taste for Friendship, and Daniel Bobette for The Drunkard.
I'm Daniel Bobette, and my film is The Drunkard. It is a montage project that follows a lonely, washed-up loser as he navigates the monotony of his pathetic, lonely existence. I was inspired to write this film by Tom T. Hall's I Like Beer, and by the lovely aroma of a home-brewed lager.
My name is Shiven Patel, and I wrote A Taste of Friendship, which is about a girl who goes over to the new kid's house for dinner, only to realize that his intentions were more sinister than expected. I've always loved mysteries, so that was a big inspiration for me.
Hello, my name is Sophia Lee, and I'm the writer of the script called Breaking the Ice. It's about a young figure skater who is breaking under the pressure of her mom's high hopes for her. I wrote this because I used to be a figure skater and I know what it's like.
My name is Ethan Schmitz, and the name of my play is Waiting in the Wings. During a chaotic theater performance, 3 actors backstage fight over identity and mistakes, ultimately realizing that being seen and showing up is more important than perfection.
To announce the winner of the Best Script, let's hear it for Miss Musco.
Hello, Rayon, do you remember last year I presented your award and you gave the longest acceptance speech, I think, in the history of anywhere, maybe. All right, Best Script. Spalding for Best Script goes to Ethan Schmitz for Waiting in
I want to thank my English teachers, my parents, and the people who helped me bring my writing to life, Mr. Spalding and Mr. Levengood. This award really belongs to all the people and experiences I've had over my 5 years at Academy. Those are what shaped my own story more than anything else. I'm incredibly grateful to have been surrounded by people who made me become a better writer and a better person. I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ethan, and Sophia. I also have Asian parents, so blink twice, you know.
Hi guys, now it's actually time for the Best Documentary. So, some of the most exciting Academy student films made this year were the new documentary category. In fact, Mr. Spalding and Mr. Levengood agreed that over their 2 decades of teaching film, they were the best documentaries ever created by their high school film students. Our screen is a QR code that will take you to a playlist of all of them to view them at your leisure because they're a little long. Here now are the best of the best. The nominees for Best Documentary Film are Why Does Everybody Hate Referees, produced by Abigail Warnock. Unicorns Are Real, produced by Ellison Watts. And The Tugberrids, produced by Avery Bose. These were all phenomenal. And I gotta say, they reminded me of real documentaries in so many different ways. Like, I couldn't get through them without falling asleep. I'm kidding, they were amazing. And now, to present the Best Documentary Award is Miss Uppmeyer. Let's welcome Miss Uppmeyer to the stage. Woo!
There is a video to show. Forgive these guys, it's their first time. Let the professional do it. Let's hit the video.
Let's watch the
As most of the world already knows, sports are extremely popular. 85% of the world watches sports, which approximately translates to 6.8 billion people. Out of all those people watching, one team that nobody ever seems to cheer for is the referees. Despite their neglection, referees are actually quite essential in sporting events. Referees are there to enforce the rules, keep players safe, and make sure the game is fair. Refs didn't always exist though. In the early versions of organized games, often called their own fouls, and often it did not go too well. As sports became increasingly popular over the 1800s, the need for a neutral force became more and more of a significant thought. In soccer, formal referees were introduced in the late 19th century to keep matches fair and reduce fights. In basketball, referees became essential as the game sped up and physical contact increased. By the time other sports leagues formed, referees became essential to how the game worked. During games, refs make hundreds of calls, but the only ones anyone ever seems to remember are the ones going against their own team.
Yeah, they're an obstacle. I don't think it's important. They hate me. I want to win. I don't care for them.
I see referees as a mix of an obstacle, part of the game, and necessary. Although, I do think there should be a mandated monthly eye vision checkup. I absolutely wholeheartedly agree that players take out their frustrations on referees from time to time. A good referee is a ref that lets the players play. It's a physical sport. People are going to do stuff. People are going to push. People are going to shove. They're going to kick. It's okay. It's a physical sport.
I think referees are important. I think that without them, everyone would cheat and it wouldn't be necessarily a fair game. I think I've taken frustration out on refs due to the fact that I think they're calling things that were obviously wrong or unfair, and I tend to think that they can be biased. I never consider how hard it may be being a ref because my frustration takes over and all I can think of in my mind is wanting to win. I think refs get about the exact amount of respect they deserve. I think that they're well respected because yes, they do their job and ref the game, but also sometimes I think they can be very good. Okay. Do you think that,
Meow round. I do think that refs are important, but I do think that they're an important part of sports to make them competitive, but also fair. I think it's less about the referee and more about the athlete's ability to process what they maybe did wrong or what their teammates did wrong. I think most of the time even if I've had a bad experience with a referee, I am very much the kill them with kindness rule. So I am just constantly being nice to them, even if they are being mean to me, even if they're not making good comments or they're saying stuff to my players. And sometimes when I'm playing in the sport, and there's a referee.
As sports became professional, crowds got bigger. Radio and television turned games into national events. And as the fan population grew, the referees received even more blame. Now, yelling at referees has become normal. Sometimes even feels like a part of the game at times. At younger levels, referees quit because of the constant abuse from fans and even parents. Some leagues struggle to find officials at all. Referees make mistakes. They're not perfect, and they're not supposed to be, even in the big leagues. They deal with pressure from millions of viewers, but at the end of the day, they go home like everyone else.
Let's just give a shot at that, shall we? Shameless plug for the Philadelphia Phillies. I have been doing high school baseball and college baseball for 25, 26 years. Referees definitely have a negative stereotype attached to them. You've got a vested interest from a lot of these people, and they're biased, and they don't like at least 50% of the calls, as we know. Human nature understanding human nature is the key to being an arbiter for an athletic event, an umpire. I've had a handful or two of players and coaches and sometimes fans or parents who are spewing the profanities my way. And fortunately, I was really lucky early on in my career to have mentors whose focus was on game management and how to handle that stuff. I did have one instance where I was kind of stalked as I went to my car, and the car drove up and it was slow, and I had a feeling, and some parent who I don't even remember from the game got out and was verbally threatening me. Then there was an umpire who was a good friend of mine who, a player on my team, got kicked out of a game we were in, and unbeknownst to us, that psycho player stayed, blocked the exit of that umpire with his car while the umpire was in his car, and got out with a baseball bat to get to that umpire, and that umpire went to his truck and got a machete. So that ended that incident. I think there are two goals for any sports official. The first is for the players and coaches to feel great as you turn the corner to get onto that field and they go, oh, so-and-so is here today. And they're happy about that. They know that they can relax and put the game in your hands, and they can focus on what they need to focus on as a coach or as a player, not worry about the official. I know I felt that way as a player, big time. And then the other thing is, the second goal kind of should be for them to acknowledge at the end of the game that, hey, that guy did a good job, or that gal did a good job, and maybe even a thank you. There is massive joy for me in umpiring these games and then giving back to the sport. The interaction with the coaches, the fans, parents, and players, most of the time is absolutely fantastic. I've never gotten burned out, and at this point, my estimate would be that I have worked about 7,500 games, and hopefully with many more to come.
Sports are emotional, and disagreements are a part of the spirit of the competition. So maybe the question isn't, why do referees mess up? Maybe the better question is, why do we expect perfection when humans aren't even perfect in themselves?
With the 2026 Winter Olympics in Milan just coming to a close, the spotlight has once again turned towards one of the most dramatic sports on the ice, figure skating. Every 4 years, the Olympics don't just bring medals and record-breaking performances. They also bring controversy, pressure, and stories that people can't stop talking about. At the center of many of these conversations stands one coach whose influence has reshaped the figure skating world forever. From rising teenage champions to emotional Olympic moments, her training camp has produced some of the most dominant and debated skaters in modern history. And her name is Eteri Tupuritse. To start at the beginning, Eteri Tupuritse was a former competitive skater whose own career ended early due to an injury. She shifted her focus from performing to producing champions. The first major spark came from Yulia Lipnitskaya, a quiet but electrifying young athlete whose rise happened almost overnight. She had began training at Tupuritse's training camp called Team Tupuritse in 2009 when she was 10 years old. At just 15 years old, she was selected to represent Russia at the 2014 Winter Olympics, instantly becoming one of the youngest and most talked about competitors in the sport. As audiences around the world watched Lipnitskaya help secure a gold medal in the team event, another name began to echo just as loudly: her coach. Tupuritse's training system suddenly became the center of attention, praised for producing extraordinary results and questioned for the intensity behind them. But Olympic success came with a cost. In the years that followed, Lipnitskaya left Eteri's training a year after the Olympics, and the truth finally came out.
She said she's not afraid of the gym anymore. She said she used to hate going in there because she would build bulky muscles, wouldn't allow her the aesthetics for beautiful moves like that, but she said with the new coach came a new training program off and on the ice that's suiting her well.
Eteri's training method wasn't to build muscle in her students to get the most powerful jumps, but simply to carry the least amount of body weight so they could get higher in the air and maximize rotation. After retirement, Yulia revealed that she'd been battling anorexia and was hospitalized for 3 months to recover. Lipnitskaya stated, "After the Cup of Russia, I came home and put my skates in the closet, and I haven't seen them since." She said, "I'm no longer drawn to the ice." She hasn't skated since. After Yulia Lipnitskaya, Eteri's methods didn't slow down. It evolved. Younger skaters arrived, jumps rotated faster, programs grew more difficult. The expectations rose. At the center of this next chapter stood Evgenia Medvedeva. From 2016 to 2018, she dominated the sport, being undefeated for 2 years straight and winning 2 consecutive world titles. Record-breaking scores, programs packed with emotion, yet executed with precision.
Ее эмоциональность, умение передать. Я считаю, что Женя по актерскому мастерству, наверное, номер 1 у нас в женском катании. То есть она передает состояние. Я чувствую ее историю где-то до мурашек.
Fans around the world connected to her storytelling like never seen before. Heading into the 2018 Olympics in Pyeongchang, she wasn't just a favorite. She was the standard. But inside Team Tuperitse, safety never lasts long. Training beside Medvedeva was a younger skater, climbing fast, Alina Zagatova. Quiet, focused, and absorbing everything.
Копировала просто произношу что-то свое и беру что-то уже.
Her programs followed a different blueprint. Tuperitse and her team structured Zagatova's routine through a strategic scoring advantage, stacking the most difficult jumps in the second half of the program. It was a calculated risk, one that could flip an Olympic podium by the smallest margin. As the games approached, the rivalry intensified. Behind Medvedeva's steady performances, her body was beginning to push back. She battled a serious foot injury during the Olympic season, later revealed to involve a crack in the bone. The team event came first. Both skaters delivered, helping secure silver for Russia and building momentum towards the individual competition. The final showdown arrived in the free skate. No falls, no visible cracks, just 2 athletes trained under the same system. Medvedeva poured everything into her performance. Years of repetition, months of injury, the weight of expectation. When she finished, tears broke through her composure she was known for. Zagatova followed with precision, landing each jump exactly where it had been designed to go. When the final numbers appeared, the margin read 1.31 points. The gold went to Zagatova, and the silver went to Medvedeva. 2 skaters, 1 coach, split by decimals on the Olympic stage. Cameras later caught Medvedeva speaking quietly with Tuperitse, a brief exchange that fueled conversations far beyond the rink. Questions about pressure, about what it costs to stay on top, and whether dominance inside the system was sustainable. The pattern was becoming clearer. A champion rises, a younger one follows. The cycle resets. And at the edge of the ice, new skaters waited, watching, learning, knowing exactly what it would take. The question was, who was willing to give it all to end up on the top of the podium? Right after the battle of the 2018 Winter Games, eyes turned back to Eteri's rink, where young talent started reshaping how figure skating looked. These rising stars, Alina Kosternaya, Alexandra Trusova, and Anna Shcherbakova, earned the nickname the 3 A's. Side by side on the ice, they drove one another, building a world where pressure came just as much from teammates as it did from opponents. From 2019 through 2021, medals at top-tier events went almost entirely to the 3 A's. In races like the Grand Prix, Europeans, and the Worlds, these 3 young skaters often swept the top spots. Kosternaya wowed the world with her emotions on the ice. Meanwhile, Trusova skated her place by landing several quads in one program. So many people started calling her the Quad Queen. Shcherbakova stayed calm through every performance, hitting tough elements without losing elegance when tensions rose. At the start, Kosternaya seemed ahead, mixing power and grace so smoothly she reset scoring high. Staying on top grew harder once jump demands kept climbing. As skaters grew taller, small hurts piled up, making steady performances harder to keep. By 2020, Kosternaya chose to switch coaches, an unexpected move that surprised many. But what was even more shocking was to whom she switched to. She went to Pushenko, Tbilisi's biggest competition. While being coached under Pushenko, her scores were nothing compared to her scores with Tbilisi. She quit women's skating in 2023. Her exit revealed how dominant Eteri was as a coach. With the 2022 Winter Olympics drawing close, Tbilisi ruled the competition without question. A new standout emerged, 15-year-old Kamila Valieva, who arrived at the Games as a clear frontrunner. Merging Trusova's sharp technique with Sherbikova's elegance, she shattered scoring benchmarks before the event even started. She was Eteri's new golden girl, the one set to win. Days prior to the women's singles event in 2022 Beijing Olympics, reports emerged. Valieva had failed a doping test based on an old sample. She claims that it was his grandfather's heart medicine that transferred when sharing cups, but the Olympics thought otherwise. The world watched Valieva crumble with this new scandal. All eyes were on her. First up among those chasing medals was Sherbikova. Next came Trusova. Sherbikova stood atop the podium, winning gold. Silver went to Trusova. That scene, seen everywhere, revealed what training under Tbilisi truly cost. These moments in the 2022 Beijing Olympics will go down in history as some of the most controversial moments in figure skating history. Today, Tbilisi is still known as one of the most controversial coaches in figure skating. Although she hasn't had as much success with scoring since 2022, her team is still thriving, always having at least one student place in almost every competition. In the recent 2026 Italy Winter Games, Adelia Petrosian was chosen to represent Team Tbilisi in the Games. Although she didn't medal, she had great scores and a great performance. The Tbilisi effect is more than just medals and records. It's a story of pressure, where greatness is achieved, but often at a cost. As figure skating continues to evolve, one question remains. How far should athletes be pushed in the pursuit of perfection?
For thousands of years, humans have imagined a creature that does not exist, yet somehow feels real. A single horn, a white body, grace, purity, power. A unicorn.
I think it's an awesome concept. I don't know the history of unicorns. I don't know the historical importance of unicorns. I can't say how it's really impacted me, other than I think that they're awesome. And I think that if they do exist, where can I sign up to own one?
Well, my first perception of unicorns probably started as a kid, because especially as a girl, I feel like you see unicorns in a lot of stories and movies. Like, for instance, one of my favorite shows growing up was My Little Pony. I really loved unicorns. unicorns growing up, and I kind of saw them as like a symbol, like whimsicalness and hope and friendship and magic.
Unicorns did not begin as children's fantasies. Their origins trace back to ancient civilizations trying to find explanations for the unknown. Early descriptions appear in texts from India, Persia, and Greece, where travelers spoke of wild, one-horned animals roaming distant lands. These accounts were likely inspired by real creatures, such as rhinoceroses, antelopes, and even narwhal tusks, misunderstood through distance and storytelling. In medieval Europe, the unicorn transformed from animal into symbol.
So I would say the symbolism part of the unicorn represents the uniqueness of people and how everyone is different in their own way. I feel like people should keep being the unicorns and just, keep being themselves.
It became a creature that could not be captured, except, according to legend, by a virgin. This idea tied unicorns to purity and morality and divine truth. They appear in religious art, tapestries, royal crests, representing power restrained by virtue. But symbolism is never fixed. What the unicorn meant depended on who was telling the story. To royalty, the unicorn symbolized strength without corruption. To the church, it represented Christ and spiritual purity. To scholars, it became a question. Proof of how belief could override evidence. By the age of exploration, belief in unicorns began to fade. Science advanced, maps filled in, the world became more explained and less magical.
I don't think too much about unicorns, unlike other people, which is fine if you'd like to think about unicorns, but I know that in the real world they don't exist.
Yet the unicorn did not disappear, it adapted. In modern culture, unicorns reappeared, not as sacred beings, but symbols of imagination. They became colorful, playful, and exaggerated, especially in children's media.
I had a lot of nightmares when I was little, and I would just think of unicorns, and it would bring me a lot of calmness and would clear my mind and make me really happy. Now, I think unicorns are not as special as they were when I was a kid. It's kind of sad. They don't mean as much to me now, which is crazy because when I was little, they meant the world to me and they could do so much, and now they don't do anything.
This shift reflects something important. As the world became more cruel and stressful and complex, fantasy became a form of escape. Today, unicorns exist everywhere. In movies, toys, fashion, social media. They are bright, surreal, and often deliberately unrealistic. But their symbolism has evolved again. In contemporary society, unicorns represent individuality and non-conformity. To be a unicorn, as it means now, is to not fit into expectations. They are often embraced by communities who value self-expression, creativity, and identity beyond norms.
When I met my fiance, she had a robe that was covered in unicorns, and she said it was because my friends, see me as a unicorn. And the more I thought about it, that's kind of how I have lived my life. Not as the horse thing, but as the concept of unicorn. And so now, I have earrings made that are 2 unicorns. I make decorations that are 2 unicorns, all because that's who my fiance and I are.
Unicorns also play a role in how we market ideas. In business, a unicorn company is one that seems impossible until it succeeds. This reflects a cultural obsession with rarity, innovation, and exceptionalism. Yet, this raises a question: why are we so drawn to something that cannot exist? Maybe unicorns endure because they represent hope. They exist at the intersection of belief and imagination, where logic ends and possibility begins. They allow us to believe in goodness without proof, in beauty without function. At the same time, unicorns remind us of our tendency to mythologize, to turn stories into truths, to project meaning into what we want to believe. In that way, unicorns are less about fantasy and more about humanity. They reveal how societies change, what we value, what we fear losing. Magic, innocence, and wonder. The unicorn has arrived not because it's something real, but because it represents something real within us. As long as humans continue to imagine, to hope, and to question, the unicorn will remain, not in forests or history books, but in stories we tell to understand ourselves.
This isn't even a joke. I just found it pertinent that I was told by a confidential source that Miles Vivian's dream soulmate is a, quote, black she-unicorn. Thank you.
Hi, I hope you guys enjoyed all of the documentaries. They were wonderful and phenomenal. And now, to present the Best Documentary Award, we have the amazing graphic design teacher and the reason we have such an excellent yearbook. Please welcome Miss Uppmeyer up on the stage.
So take two. So this is kind of feeling very similarly to Darren. A little bittersweet, as this is my last film festival, and I want to say thank you to my roomie for giving me the opportunity to have presented tonight, and so thank you, Spalding. So the winner for the Best Documentary is Ellison Watts for Unicorns on Wheels.
Thank you, everyone. I want to make a special thank you to Mr. Spalding and Mr. Levingood for being such wonderful film teachers this year. And yeah, this one's for the unicorns.
And now we'll move on to the remainder of the original films to be screened for the rest of the awards that are coming tonight. And so, coming up will be As Directed, directed by Billy Hughes, and The Perfect Toaster, directed by Abigail Warnock and Ellison Watts. So let's screen the remaining original films.
Dear Diary, how could something that's so bad make me feel so good? I have to ask myself that question every day now, and I guess you could say that my plan to enhance my studies turned into something more. Could I stop? Yeah, of course. Yeah, I can stop. Totally. I just don't really want to. And if it means not having to actually deal with my dad, well, that would be a relief. Him and his stupid ego. Nothing will ever please him. I'm happy on my own. I don't need him to understand me, or help me, or anything else. He can be on his own, and I will just do the same. It's just me, and that is all I need.
How was tutoring?
Good. I think I finally understand derivatives. What are you working on?
Did you finish your homework?
Yeah. I'm gonna go upstairs.
Show it to me in the morning.
Good morning.
Can I come in?
Not currently.
Well, get to your SAT prep as soon as you take the dog out.
So, how would you describe your relationship with your daughter?
When I was younger, I was always taught structure. I believe structure is very important. It is how I succeed. That's the only way to live, really. But then there's Max. She doesn't seem to believe in structure the same way. I've always wanted her to be like me, careful, focused, disciplined. And for a while, I thought that was the way she was too. But she was taking something, and that scares me. Now she is unpredictable, and I don't know what to do.
It's 3 o'clock.
Oh, is it already?
We'll pick up next week.
Yeah, okay, sure. Next week. Thank you.
I need,
What? Ibuprofen?
yeah, stress headache.
Oh. couldn't find it.
I know it's not here. I don't know why it's not here.
Where are you going?
I need air!
Your dinner's getting cold.
Mac and cheese?
I'm not much of a cook.
Well, I'm not very hungry.
Sit down. So are you doing everything you need to do?
I'm doing everything you told me.
No, you're not. I checked your past, you're not improving.
I'm working on it.
Where were you?
I went to the library. I was studying.
I didn't say you weren't. Where did you go?
I'm just doing what you want.
Are you?
I'm trying. I'm trying my best.
Max, look at me. You stormed out of the house today. As long as you've been my daughter, you've never done anything like that. Why can't you have the same composure that I do? But now I know the truth.
What truth? I mean, come on, I have structure. You see me, right? Every day I study.
I saw you in your room. Why? Focus, relief, rebellion. You have everything.
Do I?
Yes.
Not everything. The reason I study, do all this work, is because it's the only time you give me anything more than a glance, and I'm sick of it.
As far as this situation.
God, you don't get it. It's the only thing that makes me feel like I'm not failing.
You're not failing.
If I stop using, I will. And if I'm not failing, why do you make me feel like I am? I'm not like you. Okay, I'm not some robot who can just do what they're told and not think twice about it. But I want to be liked, and I want you to understand me.
I want you to be
great, or a shadow of who you think you are. Maybe I wanted to get caught. God, you don't actually see me, you just see what I could be. You'll never be happy.
I pushed you because I thought that if I raised you like I was, it would validate how I turned out. I was wrong. Max, you have way more heart than I do. But it doesn't change the fact that we both did something seriously wrong. Max, you'll never be a failure. You've done nothing but excel at everything you've tried. But that is why you've got to stop this. I can't control you anymore.
Talking up the storm, act like they don't notice it, but here it is, here comes the moon. Here comes the squeeze when it's full. As it turns my head around me, yes it does. Here comes the moon. Here comes the like a little brother to the sun, or mother to the stars at night. But he is, and here comes, here comes the moon.
Have you ever put your bread in a toaster, and when it came out, it was just a little bit too toasty? Well, not to worry. Thanks to the new Magic E&W toaster, your toast will be perfect.
God! I didn't believe for a second that you love this toaster. Let me see your toast, because there is no way it's perfect. If it was, you wouldn't fail. All right, let's do this again.
Have you ever?
No!
I took this job because I needed the money. I didn't realize the stakes would be this high. I mean, what even is a toaster anyway? Like, seriously though, what does it do? Exactly.
All of my employees are absolute imbeciles. I only hired them because they were okay earning $2 an hour. Swear, I've been clear on what I want from you. Not a lot, just look happy and look pretty. Speaking of which, Michael, could you turn the lights down a little bit? Her pores are too visible.
I'm Michael, the light guy, and I actually wrote this commercial.
Have you ever put your toast?
No! just not settling. Here, I have an idea. Let's take a break, we'll come back and talk.
Hey, this might sound stupid, but what does a toaster actually do?
I don't know. You know a toaster? It actually toasts your bread.
Right.
Among other things. You know, I actually wrote this commercial. I'm Michael, the light guy.
Nice to meet you, Michael.
Who's that?
He's been my guy. He used to be a DJ, although I think it fucked up his hair. He never responds to me.
Okay, hopefully you'll have some newfound clarity. Let's get her done.
You know, you should say that to me. I actually wrote this commercial.
I will. He needs me for his commercial.
Well, actually, I wrote it.
Hey, you can't just boss us around like this.
Yes, I actually can. This is my commercial, ergo we do my vision.
No, this is not your commercial. I wrote it. Michael, shut up!
I mean, I'm really trying my best. Not to mention, I don't even know what a toaster is. I
And now this commercial will only be mine. Because I actually wrote this commercial. We could do it right now.
Have you ever put your toast in a toaster and when it came out, it was just a little bit too toasty? Well, not to worry. Thanks to the new Magic EW toaster, your toast will be perfect.
I hired them because they were open.
You know, uniforms.
Our actors have some incredible method acting skills. As you just saw, Jack Hill played his role exactly like he does at school, doing nothing. So, very impressive.
We love Jack Hill. I don't think we could have ended on two more different films than As Directed and The Perfect Toaster. But surprisingly enough, it wasn't the one with drug use, strained relationships, and resentment that ended with a murder. The next award is for Best Editing. The Best Editing Award in an original film honors the student whose film exhibits exceptional skill in piecing together scenes to make cohesive and engaging narratives. Their adept use of editing fundamentals such as pacing, transitions, and visual storytelling techniques is what is showcased by this award. The nominees for Best Editing are Prayer, edited by Billy Hughes, The Tumperdinck's Effect, edited by Avery Bowes, and The Toaster, The Perfect Toaster, edited by Elton Watts. To announce the Best Editing Award, you know her, you love her, Miss Scortino.
Everything tonight has been exceptional. Thank you for having me. And the Spalding for Best Editing goes to Avery Bowes for her amazing documentary.
Thank you to Mr. Spalding and Mr. Lovingood
This was a great film year. I know I didn't do very much, but I did the documentary, so I guess it was worth it. Yeah, I've been very interested in this topic for a while, and I've always wanted to do a documentary about it, so I'm very happy that I had the opportunity to do this. Thank you.
And now, the moment that we have all been waiting for. Here is the Best Picture Awards. The Best Picture Award at the Wildcat Film Festival recognizes the films that stand out as a masterpiece among its peers. Chosen for its exceptional storytelling, cinematography, editing, and overall impact, this film embodies the artistry, dedication, and talent of its young filmmakers. It is a film that leaves a lasting impression on audiences and judges alike. The nominee for Best Picture are Human Touch, directed by Dario Guerrero. The Perfect Toaster, directed by Ellison Watts and Abigail Warnock. And finally, As Directed, directed by Billy Hughes. And now, to present the Spalding for Best Picture, I cannot believe he is still alive, Mr. Stephen Spalding!
Thank you.
Mr. Spalding.
Yes, sir.
There's been an issue.
What kind of issue?
They've lost the Spalding.
How can you lose the Spalding?
Oh my God, it's the Joker!
Get over here!
You're looking for this?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming to my film festival. Last year, things didn't go quite my way. But this year, things will go my way. Fellas, roll the film that should have won. It's me. Like a semicolon completes a sentence. Like a shampoo to a conditioner. I feel, comprehend, transcend the tyranny of mankind to reach a clear, profound, existential understanding. Now is the time.
Now is the time.
Now is the time. Now is the time.
Batman does not stop me! Jack! Batman will stop! I said it! You mean this Batman?
Mr. Levigood, would you like to do the honors?
I just thought I'd do that no matter what happened. All right. And the Spalding for Best Picture goes to
Billy Hughes for As Directed.
This is a little silly, isn't it? There's a lot of people to thank. Mr. Spalding, Ruby. I mean, you've put up with all of my reshoots and, you know, my annoying nature whenever I'm directing. Again, everyone who's here tonight, everyone, the crew members here at the New Tampa Performing Arts Center, who helped put all this stupid stuff together and let me pounce around like the Joker. And everyone presenting awards, and yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, go ahead.
You gonna go on?
No, you go first. You go first.
Just going to say we're going to bring up all the film students now.
And I have a roster, Mrs. Scortino.
Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome. Let's bring up Abigail Warnock. Coulter Shannon. Our Russian exchange student, Avery Bowes. Shiven Patel. And I say this following name with tremendous emphasis. Miles Vivian. Ellison Watts. Daniel Bobet. And if you haven't figured out already who Bruce Wayne is, it's Ethan Schmitz. Will Bradley. Darian Guerrero. Jonathan Jacob. Sophia Lee. Where is Sophia? She was fantastic as a nurse, wasn't she? Walter Levy. Nate Castor. Billy Hughes, are you already up here? Where is Billy? There he is. And I leave this man last for a reason. Because he's just a fantastic young man, Jack Hill. We do have one other person that coined a legendary phrase. Years ago, before she dropped film, she coined the phrase film bros, and for that, Parker Bowes, come on up.
One thing I wanted to point out is Rayon was absolutely right about what he said about documentaries, that last year's Film Bros did a horrible job. But this year, really folks, go and see all the documentaries. There's something in every one of them that's worthwhile, worth seeing. They just put their hearts into it and a lot of time. So congratulations and thank you for all your work this year. I know Mr. Spalding and I were surprised again and again at just how good a lot of their films were.
I just want to thank all of you for coming this evening. Wonderful blessing having you here. I want to thank Mr. Heller, Mrs. Scortino, Academy. I've said this every year that we've done the film festival, and it's still true. It's the finest place I've ever worked. And the faculty, the staff, the students, it has such a fantastic atmosphere. And it is largely attributed to good quality leadership for years. So how about these film students? So thank you guys for a fantastic year. We had a lot of fun. We cried, we laughed. I got angry, but it's another story. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for coming tonight. It was a tremendous night. Thank you.
Well, and then one more time, Rayon and Luke come on stage to give some closing remarks.
I guess we'll just say thank you so much for having us back. We're so happy that
we love
got
you.
to highlight these amazing filmmakers tonight and continue to give back to the school that made us who we are.
You pretty much got the big points. Thank you very much.
Look, I'll never get another chance to say this. Another attack during a fancy dinner is very reminiscent of a recent event, which is why, Mr. Heller, we should demolish the gym and build a ballroom right there that is gold-plated. Thank you, everyone, for giving me the opportunity to host. Thank you, Mr. Spalding, for putting up with my very terrible jokes over the years. I will miss this event when I'm up in college, and this was a huge part of the academy experience and truly what makes this school so, so unique. Thank you for everyone for coming, and it's been an honor. Peace.
I'm just about done here. I never did know your name.
Yes, you do. Take care.
Yes, sir, Captain.